Hey you guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Sam, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a very affordable fall super glam makeup look. I also had on a berry lip, but typical me, forgot to film my intro and I took it off because with this one around, he loves giving mommy kisses and my lipstick kind of goes everywhere. So if you want to see how I got this look plus a very berry lip, then please just keep watching. Alright, so now I'm going to go in with the e.l.f. Forever Sun-Kissed bronzer. And I'm going to put this on the outer corner and into the crease. I did already prime my eyes using the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer. I realized very quickly that my mom was listening to music while we were outside picking up. That's kind of why I'm in a different setup today. But I didn't exactly want to get copyrighted, so I decided to do a voiceover. This isn't something I typically would do, so I apologize if this is kind of a little wonky. This is kind of out of my element. So I'm just buffing this back and forth in the crease and into the outer corner. And I'm also going to go on ahead and apologize for the angles in this video because I was dodging the sun. But I'm picking up that first matte shade from the Bite Size Pumpkin Pie palette from e.l.f. And I'm flicking this into the outer corner and up into the crease as well. And then I'm going to go in with that darker matte shade from the Pumpkin Pie palette and put this in the outer corner, and as the product kind of leaves the brush, I'm going to flick this up into the crease as well. And then I'm going to go in with the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill Vault Collection, the Bling Boss palette, and I'm going to pick up those two like plummy purple shades and put this almost all the way in the outer corner. I don't want it to be like deep in the outer corner, but I do want there to be like a little hint of like a plummy purpley kind of color. So now I'm going in with that original brush and flicking around where that plummy purple color is to kind of blend it with the brown. And I'm going in with an additional brush with no product on it and flicking that around. Now I'm picking up the highlighter actually from the Spiced Apple Bite Size Duo. And I'm using that as my lid shade. I'm patting that all over the lid. Now I'm going in with the Honey Do Me primer from NYX. And I'm putting that all over my face and making sure I rub that in really good. I would also usually use the marshmallow primer on my like T-zone in the center of my face, but I got distracted and kind of forgot what I was doing, I guess, so I didn't do that today. Now I'm going in with the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer, and I'm placing this just right under my eyes. I find that if I do this before foundation and then again after, it kind of layers up better and I get more coverage out of it. So I like to do just a tiny little layer and then my foundation, and then go in with like a regular layer of concealer afterwards to hide my dark circles, because Lord knows, as a mom of 4, I need all of the help to hide those that I can possibly get. And now I'm going in with the Bear With Me foundation from NYX, and I'm just going to apply this all over my face using the Wet n Wild sponge. I really do love this foundation because there's not a whole lot of coverage. It's just really good at evening out the skin tone and giving you like a smooth base to apply everything else on top of. So I take this all over my face, under my eyes, make sure I get my ears, I take it down my neck, and it just kind of gives me a flawless base to start everything out on. And personally, I like to use a sponge to blend it on my face, and then I take a kabuki brush and I blend it down my neck, just because I feel like I can go and just kind of buff it down my neck really fast. Also, excuse me talking, I believe I'm talking to my mom, either my mom or my kids, but I just kind of buff this all down my neck and make sure I get behind my ears so it all looks seamless. And then I go in with the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer in the shade Tan Lines, and I take this in the hollows of my cheeks and up onto my temples, and I just buff this in with this e.l.f. dual-ended brush. I really love this brush for this step. And then I take whatever's left and I bring it down my chin, and then I do the same thing on the other side. I don't really like to contour out my chin a whole lot because, I don't know, I feel like I look crazy, but I just take whatever's left and I just kind of run it down my chin. And then I take this tiny little brush and I use it to contour my nose as well as my Cupid's bow. And then I take an Artiste brush, I think, whatever, this brush. And I use it to buff that out, and I take it up into like the front of my brow just so it's all like a seamless contour. And then I blend out around my Cupid's bow as well as underneath my lip because it makes my lips look just a little bit plumper. And then I waffle. Do I mix the two e.l.f. concealers? Do I use the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop? Which one do I do? Yes, I make weird faces while I do this. If you don't do that, then we can't be friends. But here I'm going in with the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer just because I was lazy and didn't feel like mixing them together for the e.l.f. concealer. So I'm putting this in all the high points of my face, under my eyes, around my nose because that gets red and the foundation wears off faster. And then I'm going back in with that Wet n Wild sponge and blending it out. I like to use this little flat brush from IT Cosmetics to blend out the concealer under my eyes because I feel like it holds on to the coverage better, and that way I get, like, the dark circles are hidden better and I can get right up close to that nose contour and really, like, cut it and make it as sharp as I want it to be. I can get up close to my wing and make sure that it's not wonky or anything. And then after this, I do go back in with the sponge and blend it out just to make sure that there's no, like, brush strokes or anything in it. This is just a step that I like to do to really hold on to that coverage and get the precision that I'm looking for. And then I'm going to go in with the e.l.f. Putty Blush in the shade Turks and Caicos. And I'm going to pick this up on a kind of, I don't know what you would call this, kind of a kabuki brush, but not. But it's from Morphe and Jaclyn Hill. And I use this and I put it on the high points of my cheeks and also up onto my temples. And then I like to blend out any creasing under my eyes before I set it, because if you set a crease, you're stuck with a crease. But I use this e.l.f. Sheer Tint Finishing Powder and I set just under my eyes with this. I love this angled brush. It's packed so finely that it does a really, really good job of setting my under eyes and really blurring out all my pores and making my under eyes look perfect. I also set the center of my face and my chin. I just feel like it locks everything in really well. And then I also go in with the same powder with a big fluffy brush, and I use that to set the rest of my face. I just really like that smaller brush because it gets up under my eyes really well and locks everything in. The rest of my face, since I'm going to have so much more product on it, I'm not really worried about setting it so much, but my under eyes really need to be, like, set hard. I don't like to bake them, but it's a good way to set it. And then I'm taking my e.l.f. Primer Infused Bronzer, and I'm using that to contour the sides of my face, up on my temples, as well as my nose. I don't like to go in too harsh with my nose contour right away. I like to do it in layers, and then I also blend it out really well. So I just take whatever's left on it down the sides of my nose, and then I go back in with this big fluffy brush and I use that to blend everything out before I actually go in and bronze my skin. And then I use this little eyeshadow brush to contour my nose a little more precisely than I did with that big fluffy brush. And I also use this to contour out my lip and under my lip as well. And then I use the Rimmel bronzer in the shade 022 Sun Bronze, and I use that to actually bronze up my face instead of just contour. And then I also take this down my chin, whatever's left on it, after, like, each side. And I run this down the center of my face to help blend out my nose contour as well. And then I'm going to use the highlighter from the Lychee Bite Size Duo, and I'm going to use that to highlight my face. I highlight the high points of my cheeks and my forehead. I also bring this down my nose, cupid's bow, and chin. And then I'm going to take the highlight from the Spiced Apple Bite Size Duo, and I'm going to use that to highlight my inner corner. That's the shade that I put all over my lid when I was doing my eyeshadow, so I just want to bring that in to finish off the eye look. Now I'm going back into that Lychee palette, and I'm using that blush to apply the blush on my cheeks. I also bring whatever's left onto my forehead and my nose, just so it's kind of a little everywhere. You know, when you go out in the sun, you don't just get flushed on your cheeks. It kind of is an all over the face kind of look. So I kind of take that everywhere, and then I go in with just this brush with no additional product on it, and I run it all over my face to make sure there's no harsh lines. And then I go in with this Halo Glow powder from e.l.f. and I put this all over my face. This is a good dupe, in my personal opinion, for the Jaclyn Hill loose glowy powder. And then I'm going in with the Epic Wear eyeliner from NYX in the shade Pitch Black and running this into my waterline. And now I'm going back in with that primer infused bronzer, and I'm putting this under my eyes, looking up. That way I can access the lower lash line much easier. And then I'm also going to go in with that Rimmel bronzer that I used, and I'm going to put that on my lower lash line as well, just so it's kind of cohesive. I like to tie in my bronzer and sometimes even my blush, just so it all, like, my face matches with my eyes. Now I'm going in with that darker shade from the Pumpkin Pie palette that I used, and I'm smudging that under my lower lash line as well, taking it about halfway.
Hey guys, this is my mom's YouTube channel, and well, please subscribe. Bye.
Now I'm going to go in with the Brow Glue by NYX. This is my all-time favorite brow glue. It just, like, locks my brows into place, and I don't have to worry about them going anywhere all day long. So I just run this through from the front to the tail of my eyebrow, and I kind of brush my eyebrow hairs up. I like that, like, bushy brow look. And now I'm going to take the Morphe setting spray and spray this all over my face. And then I'm going to go in with my lash curler from Revlon and curl my lashes before I go in with the Big Mood mascara. And I'm going to give a good coat of that mascara on my upper and lower lash line. And now I'm going to go in with the NYX lip pencil in the shade STFU, and I'm going to line my lips and fill in the edges with it. And now I'm going to go in with the Milani Color Fetish Lip Balm in the shade Bitten. And I'm going to completely fill in my lips with this. Make sure I get where the Cupid's bow is. Also, you can see my son walking up in the reflection of my little compact. And I'm just going to make sure I fill in the corners. And now I'm going to go in with the NYX Filler Instinct Lip Gloss in the shade Sparkling Please. And I'm just going to put this in the center of my lips just to give me a little extra zhuzh. And then here is the finished look. Then I styled it and put on a hat. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. And until next time, bye guys.